Hi, Holly. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. How you doing today? It's 7 below 0 here in Kansas today. Holy moly! Anyway, let's get started. We want to hear from Grandpa Archie. So let's see what he's got to say. I didn't find any questions that you had for him, so usually they know best anyway what we need to hear. You know how this process works. So let's get started and see what he's got to say. he's he's holding. I don't know what's up with this camera. I don't know what it's doing now. I'm sorry, it's got me like really, really close. And I can't even scoot back far enough. And then sometimes it has me back like I need to be. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm gonna have to try it. I need a new computer. Anyway, he's holding himself like this, like brrr, and he's laughing at me. I've got all his clothes on. Not funny. I don't know what state he lived in, but he thinks it's funny that I'm freezing. But I'm not. I have a lot to be grateful for. My house is warm. So he's okay, he was sitting at the kitchen table and he fanned some cards out. He was playing cards. Now he has a little, oh, I don't know how to make this camera, I don't know why it got so close, sorry. A little trash can sitting next to his chair. He's still sitting at the kitchen table. And it's just a little chrome with a flappy lid. And he's leaning over like he's going to throw something in it, but I don't think it's the cards he was holding. Now he just kind of froze. He's kind of. Hey, hang on, he's not doing anything right now. He kind of faded. Come closer. He says you have stuff you need. You have stuff you need to throw away. You have stuff you need to file away. And he says, I'm talking about emotionally. Let bygones be bygones. Now he's walking. Now he's walking over to the stove, and it looks like an electric stove, but he's burning papers. It just needs to be done. It needs to be done. Burn the papers. Burn it. Make it final. I don't know where he's going with this. He's making a big deal out of burning some papers. It's like legal papers. Oh, we're into the spiritual charades. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing. Because he's not. Wish he'd just say it. It's not like I can't hear him. Maybe. I hate to say this on video. Marriage papers? Possibly. It's a feeling I'm getting. And then he's taking a broom and he's sweeping up the ashes. And he's putting them in this trash can. And it's a little trash can. It's a little trash can. So it's not like there's a whole pile of this stuff you need to do. I mean, he didn't bring in a dumpster. He said it's just a little mess. He's kind of staying back. I need to get him. He needs to get closer. He says, oh, he says, look who I brought with me, the old gal. So I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is his wife or his mom. He's not specifying yet. Let's see if we can get her a little clearer. She was somebody that waited on him hand and foot. She's bending down, almost like to kiss his feet or shine his shoes, like bowing down to him, like in honor of him, like worshiping him. It just keeps kind of flipping around. Yeah, you gotta get closer. I can't see her clear enough to describe her. And that could be me. I'm flustered once again over my computer. Now he's going to the front door in the living room. And I see your name. I see the name Holly, but I also heard Polly. So somebody that has a name similar to yours, or you're named after somebody, or something, but he's at the front door and there's a window and little window in the front door, and he's looking out of it like he's waiting for something. He's waiting for somebody or something. And here comes, first I see walking up the sidewalk is a beautiful collie dog. Could be a Sheltie because I'm kind of looking at it like from up here down. I can't really see the size, whether it's a smaller or the bigger version of collie type dog. Beautiful face. And the dog, this is different. The dog is standing outside on the sidewalk looking at him, looking at the window at the dog. It's looking out the window of the door, and the dog is standing on the sidewalk looking at him like the dog wants in. So do you or somebody have a dog like this that hasn't passed or has just extremely recently passed that could be waiting to join him? And it doesn't have to be his dog, your dog. It could be just somebody, I don't want to explain this, somebody that sometimes they bring other people through and other animals and things through to let somebody here know that they have that with them. Doesn't have to be it was their own. It just belongs to somebody he's strongly connected to. See, I don't feel like this dog is passed yet. Now the dog is looking. He's looking up across the front of the house. He's still looking at the house from the outside. And I see it like what to me looks like energy, not an orb, but something like that. Like the energy is on the outside and it's moving back and forth up towards up just underneath the roof of the house, and the dog's watching it. They never waste a message. There's always a reason for what they show. Let's see where we're going to go. All right, oops, lost it for a second. Man, I see energy just flickering on my wall. It's like my wall is vibrating right there. So I'm not sure what this energy is flickering. It's just like the wall itself is. I'm not sure why we're showing me this, but like I said, there's always a reason. All right, then let's go back to the dog. He's showing me somebody wearing a pair of ruby red slippers like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz wore. He's talking about Glinda the Good Witch. Click your heels and you can go home. My camera's making me nervous. My camera keeps flickering, so I don't know if it's all the energy or just my screwed up camera. Click your heels 3 times and you can go home. You can do anything you want. There's something that you are yearning to do, deeply yearning, and you're trying to stuff it down. You're trying to stuff it down, and you're trying to comply with everything you should be doing. You think you should be doing around you. Just putter along, when you actually need to click your heels 3 times and go home. Don't know which home he's talking about. Now camera, stop it. You're scaring me. He's showing me, oh, wait a minute. Now I see my dad. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Don't know why that happened. I saw Grandpa holding a newborn infant, and then it turned into a picture of my dad holding one of my grandkids. No, one of my kids. It'd be one of my kids. He never held my grandkids. A picture of my dad holding my daughter like that. So, do you have children? Do you have a grandkid coming? Possibly granddaughter coming? A new one? All right, Dad, you gotta go. Okay, Archie, come back here. So a lot of times they'll reference things that have happened in my life so I know how to interpret it a little better. And he said he held you like that. He held you just like that and had the same thoughts in his head that my dad did, which my dad never really said anything about his feelings, so I don't know what his thoughts were, but I love you. He thought the kids were too young when you were born to have a kid. Wish they would have waited longer, but so glad they didn't. And then he shows me like this burst of sunshine. It's because you were just this burst of sunshine in his life. And he says you were always going a mile a minute. He says we could not hold you still. You were all over the place, climbing on the couch, grabbing the curtains, jumping to a chair. This is when you were little. He said this ball of energy, and he says I just want to go. I don't know what to do with her. I can't slow her down. Oh, and what we fail to realize is we don't need to put them in a box. We shouldn't put them in a box. They need to learn how to be themselves, not what we want them to be. He says, not like my mom does. My mom always tries to put me in a box. So he says, I just kind of went, let her be, let her be. Because eventually you would get tired and go crawl up in his lap. And then he could have some snuggle time when you finally wore out. And now, this image he's showing of you, which I always ask him not to show things because you're going to be too little to remember doing it, sitting on his lap, and you had a really hard toy in your hand, and you smacked him in the knee really super hard. He wanted to say cuss words, but he said you were just so darn cute. He says, I had to forgive you. He says, I couldn't even get mad. He says, you're either yearning to take a trip, or you're going to take a trip, or you just took a trip, and it's outside. You're outside, but it's not a beach. I see lots and lots of trees, and hills, and I see a helmet on your head. I see a creek, river, something, lots of steep hills. They're covered with trees. You need to protect yourself. Helmet on your head. But you need to do it. You're so adventurous, you need to go out and breathe, is what he said. Step out of your comfort zone. And he flipped from there to, you need to go clean your kitchen. Maybe that's part of the reason the trash can was there, but it was little. Hope he's not talking to me. He says, well, you thought I loved you this much. I loved you this much. And he's going back to that scene with the trees. You need to go out and breathe. You need to go out and walk. Well, it's too freaking cold. I don't know what part of the country you live in. Like I said, it's 5 below now. You need to breathe. You're getting so tense and anxious that you forget to breathe. He's reminding me, my son, the doctor just told him, you're breathing too shallow. And I preach this to people all the time. I told him, my gosh, this is what I tell people all the time. He said the doctor actually just told him this. He goes, but that's the way I breathe. He says you're breathing more shallow than most people. You need to consciously put some oxygen in those cells. And if you learn meditation breath, you don't have to meditate. I can't get my little squirrel brain to sit still long enough. So my meditation is walking and listening to woo-woo music because I have to move. So he's mentioning the breathing. He wants you to breathe in, put more oxygen in your body. And it actually does help calm. You'd think I'd remember that after preaching it so much. Every time I get anxious. Now he's showing an image of you. There's a guy on your right hand side, but he's not real close. He's off to the side. These are people that are alive. And then there's a whole bunch of people behind you. These are people that are alive. You have lots and lots of family and friends. And they're behind your back. These are behind your back. They've got your back. Now my ear just closed off. I thought it was going to change to high pitch, and that's what my ears do, one at a time. It'd just be one side. And usually go to a high pitched screech, but it didn't. It started to, and then it didn't. Anyway, that's an ascended master to me. It's a higher up, an archangel, or further up. So they're trying to get my attention. Anyway, you have all these people behind you, but there's a big space between you and them. I got this. I'll call you back in a minute.
Okay. Yes.
It's my mommy. Got her an Alexa drop or Alexa spot. She drops in all the time. Sorry. And I wonder, that wasn't a coincidence. Not a coincidence. So anyway, don't know how that ties into this unless it's a sign you need to get a hold of your mother. So anyway, where was I? Oh, anyway, there's a big space behind you and these people. I got this shit. I can do this on my own. I don't need to lean on any of them. And yet they're all standing back there like, hey, I want to help. I'm ready. Ready, willing, and able. He's not giving a lot of, he says you really don't need a lot of advice. He takes you by the shoulder. And even though you don't feel it, and he kind of tries to turn you a little bit, go, no, 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 you need to look this way. You need to go this way. So he's trying to help guide you. So always call on him, even if you don't see the signs or you don't feel like he's there. Call on him because he is always trying to help guide you in the right direction. I know there's kind of a lot of vague information. He says, but this is what I want her to know. Like I said, they know best. So I'm sorry. I just saw, he just showed me. Grandpa went back to standing by the front door. He was like he was going to look out. And Sean was standing there. And Grandpa bumped him, shoved him out of the way. He says, "This is mine. Get out of the way." I've got her. That was cute. Sean's slinking around on the floor. His grandpa's standing there looking out the door. He's slinking around on the floor behind him. I think he's heading towards the kitchen or something. Like, I'm going to sneak over here then. He almost looks like a cat slinking along there. I'll sneak around behind him. He won't see me. He's not booting me out. Grandpa wants to be the star of the show. Grandpa just wants you to know he's there. Wants you to get your affairs in order. That sounds like a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But he was just getting ready to show me that he makes noises like maybe you'll hear a footstep in the living room, or a shuffle of a foot, or oh, now he's showing slippers. He's got slippers on, but they're not the little footy things. They're like kind of a hard sole slipper with, the cloth sides. Yeah, I can't describe them. Little plaid slippers, fuzzy inside, and kind of shuffled his feet, kind of shuffling his feet. So that's the kind of noise it'll sound like. It's almost like the two of them fight over who's going to sit where, who's going to hang out in your house. It's funny anymore. They used to show me the exact house. Now they just show me the same generic house. Unless there's something important in particular in the house, they just show me a generic house. Grandpa wants to be in charge. Hey, he's not saying anything right now. He's plopped on the couch and he's got his feet up on the coffee table with his slippers on. With his arms up on the back of the couch. I wish this camera wasn't like this. So evidently he spends a lot of time there because he's very comfy. So yeah, yeah. So ask him to do something, ask him to show you something, ask him to give you a sign in the house, ask him. He said ask him about bells ringing. Bells ringing. You got bells ringing? Do you have bells ringing in your house? Bells ringing that aren't really ringing? Bats in your belfry? And then he mentioned sleigh riding. Now he's just throwing stuff out. He's still comfy on the couch. He said there's really nothing that he feels very calm and confident as far as you. He said there's really nothing that he's worried about. No warnings. No. He says you just need to breathe. He says if you actually look around, you have so much to be grateful for. It's okay to want more, just be satisfied with what you have first. He says then more is like a present, like a surprise. He's a smart man. He mentioned witch doctor, and I wasn't going to say that, but he says, no, you have to say it, witch doctor. Somebody, I believe it was somebody associated to him, one of his doctors that he didn't like called him a witch doctor. Didn't think he knew what they were doing. He says, and they didn't. He doesn't have any earth-shattering news, any big revelations. He just, okay, come on. He says, oh, look at her. He's right here, right now. Look at her. Look how beautiful she is. I love her to pieces. Mises and pieces. Come on. He's not talking. His energy is so calm that he's just kind of laid back. Something about somebody chewing and picking at their fingernails. I don't know whether it was him, you, or somebody close to you. I know that's kind of vague. Somebody with that nervous habit. And what about it? What about it? Okay, now he's showing me a lampshade in your bedroom, and it's cockeyed, like a lamp on the nightstand. So he's been messing with that. And then you go straighten it up, and then it gets cockeyed again. It either has or it's going to. Forget not everything is not everything they say has already happened. So sometimes you gotta file it and keep your eyes open for it. He says he really has nothing to bitch about you. That's a good thing. Keep that. I'm going to keep that boy out of my way because I'm the boss. I'm the king. He's going back to the name Polly. Polly wanna doodle all day. What the heck is that song? I can't remember the exact words. That's an old song. Can't remember the words. I can hear it, but I just can't quite get the words out. Yeah, I don't. I'm going to let him go because other than what he said in the beginning, he just doesn't seem to be too concerned. He has no warnings. He has no concerns with you. He just thinks you're doing wonderful. You're beautiful. And he's back in the kitchen and he's sweeping again. Only he's got a big broom, the big shop broom. And he's going to help clean things up. He's waving, he's leaving. He's perfectly happy with the way things are, except for the little tidbits that he mentioned. But don't forget that he's there. He's holding a balloon. He turns around and says, "Happy birthday." So somebody's birthday is right about now or just happened. And he's acknowledging that. And he's dancing. He's got happy little feet. So he either was or is going to be at this occasion with his dancing shoes on, his happy feet. Lots of hearts coming up. But he's walking away. Well, that wasn't really exciting, but he's just happy. He's happy with what you're doing. He feels good about your life, other than the little whatever in the beginning. So let you go, and hopefully I can get this loaded. I don't know what's going on here. See you later. Chat with you later. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. Much love to you.